Happy first of the month, right? I think that's a song.
Yay.
Wake up, wake up, wake up. It's the first of the month. Yeah. Anyways,
Oh yeah, that's very
so
cool.
it's yeah, there's going to be some kind of shaking up the markets, but this is just normal first of the month, beginning of the month shenanigans, in my opinion. We've seen this countless times, especially with Tesla. Even Tesla last month, there was the Elon and Trump shenanigans that crashed the stock too. That was in the first week of the month too, if you guys remember. So it's happening again. So I think it's just
Yeah,
normal stuff. Normal stuff.
yeah, absolutely. And I was just looking at the VIX chart here. Um, I was just noting the seasonality of everything. The last time that we touched the take profits line was here in December, and then before that, it was back here in July. And guess what's coming up? July, and then December, or right about here. I've got this little note. I've been counting down the days to the October Halloween, the spooky Halloween, October 31st surprise. This year, it's October 27th is Monday. Oh, and then, yeah, so I guess October 3rd is in the middle of the week, like on a Thursday. Anyway, um, there you go. Yeah. So let's see, 16-hour chart. Where are we now? We started making this new trend line for the VIX, and then it tested onto it, and now we're back over it again. I guess I should go to a smaller. Let's do a 1-hour chart, and you can see that. So here's the new lower trend line, and it tested back, oscillated, and we're back above it. But I think it wants to go back down again. This was the previous trend line up here, and I don't know. I mean, it could test up there, but it doesn't have to. The Ichimoku clouds say that we're just going to hang around here and then fall down again. So yeah, VIX looking pretty. It's just, and remember, as long as we stay under the greed line, stocks keep going up. It's like an accelerometer. Stocks keep moving. As long as the accelerometer is in the positive direction, then your velocity is in the positive direction as well. So there you go. Go back to you, Matt. Go and do the indices here.
Yeah, we'll take a look here. So what I'm seeing here is a normal retrace. So if you just look at the daily chart and if you just look at the Ichimoku indicators with that, you can see it's just really extended from even the conversion line way at 605. So going for a back test is normal. Nothing goes up in a straight line. This is all-time high territory. So back testing levels is about to begin, it looks like. So 613 is probably the minimum target, maybe down to 605, the conversion line, or a little bit lower. So this is just a breakout. We're looking for a back test now before the continuation higher. Normal procedure for all markets, especially the indices. So let's continue down the list.
Did you recently update your Ichimoku indicator?
I don't think so. Why?
Oh, okay. I updated. It said there was a new update. Updated it, and then I had to redo all my settings. And I noticed that your trailing your trailing line is up on the screen there, and you can see how the price is below the trailing line. So it's very bullish as long as that price stays below the trailing line.
Yeah. Yeah, the lagging
really
span. Yeah,
and it looks like a giant inverse head and shoulders. The whole thing looks like a big inverse head and shoulders.
it pretty much does. Yeah, and QQQ also is in process of doing the a back test too. So this one could go a lot deeper than maybe people think, because a back test of the previous all-time highs could be possible, and that's around 540, maybe even into the 530s as well. So this is why I never chase breakouts. I always look for the back test, so that could be the opportunity coming in the future here. And we can go to IWM as well, and we can take a look. That IWM is basically just getting rejected at that 217. It's a normal procedure. This one's the exact opposite, where the others broke out and are looking for a back test. This one just hit resistance and perhaps looking for a little bit of a back test, but it's just in a range, 208, 217. That's really the fib range of this IWM chart, and it's still very bullish, right? Nothing bearish about this chart at all since it recovered and is back on top of the daily cloud. And we can take a look at Bitcoin too, and just see here that it's still nicely above my green level, the 105. 400, 105, 500. So we're doing a back test again this week. Maybe it does go back down to that 105 zone, which is perfectly fine. And I think it's going to stay in this zone until it's really ready to break out of it. And this GAN has been really a perfect indicator of what's really happening with the chart. It's just stuck in a range. stuck in a range, stuck in a range, stuck in a range, and nothing's going to change that until it breaks above, right? And I don't think it needs to break below because it already tried that and it quickly recovered. So now we're doing a breakout back into the zone, and a back test of that 105.5 would be perfectly normal before trying to continue higher. With that, Trekker.
All right, here's where I get to share my Bitcoin chart. I love to look at things up close. Matt gives you like a really wonderful long view of everything, and I like to get up real close and mix it up in there. So Bitcoin, I thought maybe after testing back to this, you can't read the fib. I got so many fibs over it. But after testing back to about 106.489, I thought it would want to go up higher to the 141, but I guess not just yet. It teased us 236 and sent it back down to, gosh, that must be a 50% fib. So anyway, we're just back at this baseline again. Do we have to go down here? I guess Matt's chart says we might. I've got a lot of charts that are Bitcoin related that seem to want, they're like at the 764 up here now, and they seem to want the 382 down here. So that would be a 764, 382 kind of move for Bitcoin. Speaking of things that are doing weird tests and stuff, Tesla, Matt is really excited about Tesla because it's back here in the 290s again. And I was looking at this on my 16-hour chart. I think this moving average 75, it wants to test back to it right here at this blue level. This is a line I drew back to these. See these two wicks right here? That's the same price, 294.86, and that's where I think it wants to come right here, and then run up, and that'd be like the bottom of the cloud. And then from here, 420.69, right here. That's exactly 420.69. And that's where I want to see price test next after bottoming out here. How about you, Matt? Do you want to share your Tesla chart?
Yeah, I'll take a look here with that. And first of all, we can see that price did actually start to open this week underneath the 321.32 that I've talked about for the last couple of weeks. So that was kind of an indicator that perhaps it's going to go retest lower levels, and that's sure enough what it's doing right now with the narratives out there. So sometimes how we see weekly candles open is just as important as how they close. So it came back up, got rejected, and now it's going back down, perhaps even to the 295 again, 295.05 to back test that. It's almost there, right? Not even that far away at this point. And we can go to the, again, on the log scale here, and even just put on the moving averages, and we can take a look at the 50-week moving average. It's getting that liquidity below it right now, and that's at 301.63. So that's another back test in process of that. And does it need to come back down to this symmetrical angle here again? I mean, that could be a possibility in the future, but I don't think it's necessary right now. But if it does do it, it doesn't change my bullish stance, because this chart is a perfect example of market symmetry, right? Be bullish at support zones, be cautious at resistance zones all the time, right? Before it was at resistance, this arc right here, breakout back test, flipped it to support. This angle has always been a resistance here. So even if it did go lower, it doesn't scare me at all, right? This is an accumulation stock, in my opinion. It's not for trading for me. It's just accumulating, because once it's ready to break out, it'll be pretty explosive. And I think right now I'm going to be just focusing on the 295 right here, 295.05 for support, and also the 50-week moving average right here, which is also at 30. Oh, that's the Ichimoku at 301. Yeah, 301.63. I'll be watching both those areas today. And again, it's the beginning of the month, basically the beginning of the week too. So let price just wick below levels, and we'll see how things close on Friday. And I'll be looking for 301.63 closing above that. And best case scenario would be just a big long wick and close back inside the cloud too, right? That would be the best situation up there. So I'll be watching for some signs of a reversal pretty soon, maybe today, tomorrow, and maybe a little bit lower first to the 295, and then we'll probably get some recovery later on. So good developments, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, Matt says 295.05, and I say 294.86.
Yeah, like price loves wicking through levels all the time. So if it
Oh yeah.
wants to wick down to the low 290s, high 280s, we'll just let it do that, right? Because this is a textbook example of higher highs and higher lows, right? From the bottom here, it's higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. It's just looking for some kind of higher low again. I think it might already
Yep.
found it basically in June, so it doesn't need to go any lower than that. It can go a little bit lower, but it's not like it's a bearish chart, right? There's some things that are falling knives. This is a bullish chart, not a bearish chart. So again, we're seeing
Oh,
this on
you're
X in
preaching to
my
the
comments
choir.
all the time. We're seeing this on, like, people don't learn their lesson. They get bearish at
Yep.
support, and this does not make any sense at all. And if you need more proof that 295, just look at this. Previous resistance right here, it's flipping back to
Yep.
support, right? Even previous resistance right here, it's flipping back to a support, right? So it's a big previous resistance zone flipping back to support. So I can't stress enough, like, I see this all the time, and I it's no wonder that people don't make money in the market because they get bearish at support. They,
Yep.
especially with a bullish market structure, and I can't stress that enough. But people will just be emotional; they're not going to be rational sometimes. So just got to let them do what they're going to do.
Yep. We
All right,
can't save
Tracker.
everyone, but we try.
Nope.
So I've got Coin here, and I did warn everyone that Coin would probably do. It could do the 764,382. Here's my 764. It predicted 381.66, and what we got was exactly 382 for the high. And then this is a 16-hour chart, so includes pre-market and after-hours action. My 382 is down here at $260.11. So that's where my TA wants to see this go. Even though there was a chance for support at the 786 at 344.37, and we've lost it here in pre-market. So next we'll check out this Ichimoku conversion line and the baseline, this 702, and if that falls, then 260.11 is where it goes. That's all you need to know about that. What else do we have? Do you want to do your coin chart, or is that good enough for you?
Yeah, I'll do my coin.
Okay.
I know people are wondering about it. So it's back to my levels. If you guys remember, especially if you're a subscriber to me on X, I posted something about going to 339, and we're there, right? We're there at 339, but that's just a minimum target. There's a lot of support below that, but that 339, 340 zone is basically this previous high. So it's a breakout. It's doing a back test right now of this previous higher high. So doing that is normal. Doesn't need to go a little bit lower. That's also possible. We can look at the daily chart as well. You can see that there's a lot of support lower in the 318, 315, 308, that zone if it chose to break below this, which is also perfectly acceptable as well. So this is just the beginning of the retrace that I had right here. I think at a minimum, right? I think it could go lower, but it doesn't change the thesis that coin is a very bullish stock, especially it's the highest monthly candle close ever, right? We can see this. It's never closed a monthly candle this high ever in its history of the chart, right? Even during the IPO here, it was it closed way down here in the 290s, right? So never closed a monthly candle this high. So this is bullish, right? This is a very, very bullish chart. So let it do it back test. Let it go as deep as it wants. I think if it does even go down to the 318 or 310s or whatever, I'll probably just add more Connell. I think at this point, we see what Robinhood is doing. You think Coinbase is not going to do something in the same regard? Yes, they are. And they're probably going to do crypto lending as well in the future because they just applied to be like a bank, right? And I think lending was a part of that application process. So guess what's going to happen when that gets started? So this is just going to be a bullish development. And yes, that was fundamental. So I'm blacking out now. So Tracker, take over.
Hey, Matt, just give me a quick hit of coin porn. Show me your price for your 1618.
Yeah, it's 2000. It's 2,100, 5.6. Yeah.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. All right.
Yep.
I brought up the, thanks for that. I've got the
No
BlackBerry chart here, BB. BlackBerry is still working on its subwave 1 of 3. Remember, these dash lines. It's my larger degree wave 1, wave 2. Now we're in wave 3, sub 1. It's still working on sub 1, so I expect it to go to $6.05, then drop back down to the 382 at $4.42. And then it'll be in the heart of the third wave, the best part of the whole wave, the one you never want to trade. You just want to ride this whole thing from the bottom of subwave 2 to the top of, this is all of wave 3. And then the way I draw my charts is a shorthand That's like sub 3, sub 4, and then that's sub 5, which is also all of 3. Anyway, BlackBerry is looking good. Very bullish, very positive. Down here, it's sort of showing that 442 will be support later. And then, yeah, so just look for 605 next. What is next? I see a bunch of people asking me about BMNR. BitMine Immersion Technologies. So, yeah, I tried to draw a chart for somebody. Look, you can't, there's not enough data, really. Oh, I guess I could. Oh, look at that wick right there. Wait. When did this wick happen? 5 a.m. Anyway, maybe I can do something with this. The last time somebody asked me about it, the price was still down here. Let me just move this up to here, where it hit a high and then goes back. And then let's also put this on here real quick. This won't just take me a second. All right. So here's the 141. And actually the 127 lines up with my 764. So that's the next resistance I'm going to look for. So let's see. How should we do this? From here. Yeah. 764, 382, 1382, 100, 2382. 1382. 100, 2382 is right up here. And just change the colors. I like to make this. I've got a template for it already, the 764 template. There you go. And there's my chart for BMNR right now. I just drew it for you before your very eyes. So next target is $70.41. Let me turn off these high and lows. They're kind of in the way. Label high, low. Now you can take your screenshot. Goes back to $50.80, then up to 102.12, back to 82.52, and then on to 153.44. There's BMNR. And then for price comparison, for prices right now, that's about almost 40% higher to the wave 1 top. From where prices right now to wave 3 is 106% higher. And then from where prices now to the 238 is about 209% higher. So if you just bought it now and wrote it out, it'd be 209% higher. If you sell the 3, get back at the 4, it's 85% higher from the wave 4 bottom to the wave 5 top. All right. How about back to you, Matt? And I'll set up something else here.
Yeah, let's see here. We'll look at, let's see, there's an S bet, but I'll let you chart that one. There's Iron here. I'll do Iron. So a lot of people are super bullish right now. And when I look at my chart, I see resistance, right? And the resistance is the arc above. It's also basically going back below this level here. And I'll look right here at that level. It's basically 1408. And then we got the 786 at 1388. So price is basically more in a resistance zone than a support, right? You can just see the previous candles over here too. Right here, they basically got near these candles and it touched the arc and it got rejected. So yes, price hit resistance and it's retracing. So now it's very overextended from the cloud. It's very overextended everywhere. So could it even come back down to the 11s or 12s again? Yeah, it possibly could. So I'm always cautious at resistance, more bullish at support. So this hit the resistance basically last week, right? Or sorry, this week. It just hit it yesterday. Yeah. Yesterday. It nailed it. So with that said, I'm cautious, and I actually did put a note for my ex-subscribers that it hit resistance up there as well, because anywhere in that zone was something to be cautious about. So 1383 is the current pre-market price. We'll see if this 786 can hold the 1388. If so, it can recover and stabilize in that zone, but if it starts to close more daily and weekly candles underneath that, I could possibly see a deeper retrace. So we'll have to take it one level at a time there. But 1388 is the level I'm watching right now.
All right. I've got IREN too, just for comparison. Yesterday I was looking at this and thinking it had gone over the 618. So maybe we'd go to the 764 up here at 1651. But since it does look like a doji right there, maybe it just crossed the 618 and still wants to come back to 236. So if it can't get higher, if it doesn't go to 1651 it's going to come all the way back down here to 864 will be my target here at the 236, 864 for IREN. And then here's SBET Gaming. SBET, it's kind of like one way to look at it is that it's still trapped under this trend line. Like you can just kind of draw, I don't know, I'll just draw it for you right here. This trend line right here, right to there. As long as it stays on this trend line, it could still force price lower and lower. This is the fib retracement I'm looking at. It hit a low of 775, got back to 1425, fell down. It tested through the 382, through the 2973, through the 236, and then kind of stopped here. Couldn't get back to the 702. So maybe it wants to come back and get a perfect touch of the 11.4 at 849. So that's why I've got 849 possible right here. This would have been preferable. It did not hold that yesterday perfectly. So it could come down to 849 and then from there go on up to, this would actually get moved a little bit. I love doing the hypotheticals here. Let's see if I can grab this. Yeah, here it is. So if this actually went to the 8.49, then now my target becomes 1344 after that, which lines up pretty nicely with the 886. I mean, it's already nicely lined up with the 886, but anyway, there you go, SBET. And then the chart just gets, really good after that. So I would definitely be, I've got a position in it and I'm adding back to it. I had a huge position and then I traded out of it when things got boring and something else got exciting. And now it's getting exciting the way Matt gets excited about stuff. So I'm buying it back. Let's see. Oh, I gotta get back here.
All right.
Let's see.
I got Oscar.
I could do. Go ahead. Yeah.
Oscar and AMD. I see that here. So here's my Oscar chart. It broke out, right? It broke out of the 786. I love that, but it's not really going higher. It's kind of in a big resistance zone here because of the previous candles right here. Right, it went up there, wicked above, basically to the equal levels here. So, is that a triple top? No, not necessarily. I think it's just consolidating at higher levels. And the support zone that I like so far is it's holding this 786. Right, so 1992. I think as long as it stays above that, it can go higher. And with AMD, is also looking like a really nice chart, but it kind of got rejected by the cloud last week. And it did open up in the cloud this week, but I think a back test is in order and it is on the way. And 136 is the 100-week moving average. 131 is the 50% fib. And then you got the 50-week moving average down there at 126. So any kind of back test in this zone, I think, is appropriate for AMD before it really wants to continue to the 149 and the 164 above. So it already had a big breakout. So now look for the back test before we get more bullish. And I think it's almost going to start pretty soon, maybe even today, 136 down to the 126.
All right. Thanks, Matt. I've got Beyond here. This is really cool. Now just take a journey with me. Remember when you were studying geometry in high school and you learned about tangents of a curve? Anyway, so from this high here and beyond, just imagine you're following this price down. You're like, oh my God, it's so painful. And you're looking for it sets up a trend here and you're looking for it to break the trend. Here it broke the trend. And then so you make a new trend line. And then this was the trend line for a little while. Look right here where between those 2 points, right there, price follows that trend line perfectly. And then it finally breaks it. And then you get this trend line. You kind of look back at this price to this price and it sets up this trend. And this approached it but couldn't get above it. Then it gets above it. And then now, and as the tangents keep changing slope to a more positive slope, that's how you know that the stock is pulling out and starting to build supports. So, and of course, when it doesn't make a lower low anymore and starts making higher lows is how you really know. Anyway, beyond here, I had a chart drawn for it on the 8 hour. Yeah, here. I thought maybe from here it would get like this 382, 236, 702, and it actually did better than that. I just need to make this show up everywhere. Wait, I can just do like this. Visibility, all intervals. Okay, so let me go to my 16-hour chart. And so it went actually to the 50%, and then back to this. Oh, this one doesn't have the new one here. The 29, the 27.9. Let's see, TGM freight. There we go. And see right here, it went to that 29732, which is, it's the opposite of the 702. It's a 702 inverted. So 29732 held up there, and now price is heading for the 702 again. Maybe even the 786. Or no, even better, the 886. Yeah, let's look. I think from this 292, it would go to the 886. Anyway, it looks like this moving average 300 is coming down. So yeah, it's building up to go higher, and then that'll be a top. It'll come back down, test support again at the 702, and then it can go higher to the 141 after that. So it's in a great place to buy more now. I don't think it's going to go lower. I don't think it needs to retest 29732 again. So yeah, let's see from where price is right now. Look for it eventually to get to at least this point to at 1187. That's 23% higher. Beyond. And then, gosh,
I got him.
Zeta. Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, so HIM's here. I'm just focused on one thing and one thing only for the high time frame, and that's this 1.272 fib at 46.64, and it's a breakout. It already did a back test last week, and it could go back down there and back test it again and again and again and again and again. Sure, right? So 46.64, stay above that, it goes higher. Just short and sweet right there. It's a bullish chart, very volatile stock, and I do think it has potential to stabilize around that zone and go higher. All right, back to you, Trekker. My Fast and Furious.
Well, thanks. Yeah, Fast and Furious. Here's Zeta, and I've just drawn, again, a trend line. I just picked the last two highs, drew a trend line through it. So this is the trend line. It's got a break. It might just go sideways for a while until it can do it. It did this really nice move here, but maybe now, like if I put the Bollinger Bands on the 60-hour chart, you'll see that it kind of extended over them a little bit. And so it's got to capture, it's got to let this RSI kind of calm down a little bit. Once it does, it'll be ready to break out and then head on to my 382 at minimum. The 382 up here at 2659. But looking back at the retrace, it kind of really wants to test the 78.6 up here at 2770. But anyway, from where price is right now, about 80% to 72% higher. Ideally 236 and then 123.6. Which no, that's 100%. Here's 123.6, which kind of is almost the 200%. I don't know, something might happen to this chart on the way up here that'll get this to calm down a little bit. Oh, that would only happen if we made a new lower low. I don't know. I like it for higher from here. Don't worry about all the mumbling. I'm always considering the possibilities, but don't be freaked out. I think it's going to go to 2659 next, 72% higher. And then, SN SoundHound. I bought a position back in this. I like the way this chart is looking. I think it was after somebody requested it and Matt showed his chart. I was like, oh yeah, I want to look at that. And I did. So my minimum target for this is the 382. So again, this is a large from this low to this high, wave 1, wave 2, wave 3 now, sub 1. At least the 382, and then if you've seen other charts, you could go to the 618 or the 764, but at least the 382 to $15.26, which is 45% higher from where price is right now. Then I'd go back to the 236 and the 1236, which kind of lines up with the 141 on the retrace side. So yeah, I like this from here. All right, back to you, Matt.
Yeah, let's take a look. What's really developing here? Did we do ASTS yet? Did we do that? Did you do that?
No, I was gonna do that one, but you can do it if you want.
Yeah, I was gonna just take a look at my chart because I know it. Basically, let's go back to this ASTS right here, and it got rejected. Right, the high time frame resistance was hit last week, right here, the 5084, and this move is kind of expected in my eyes. Right, it was like a melt up. It had a destination and nailed it. And now maybe I'm looking for a retrace and possibly down to the 38 or even the 35 zone, the conversion or baseline before trying to go higher. So it's a breakout. Looking for a back test now in process. And how low will it go? We'll just take it one day at a time. But right now, it looks like a big rejection here. So be patient with it. Be cautious at resistance. More bullish at support. All right,
Well, I'll tell you where it's going. Here's my ASTS. After it did hit, it did not stop at the 764, which was unusual. But it's paying for it right now. It's right here at this 16-hour Ichimoku conversion line. But I expect it to fall back to maybe the 382, which would be $32.16. But maybe this 886 saves it at 35.96. So my target is 35.96 or 32.12 for ASTS SpaceMobile for the Wave 3, Subwave 2. And then it goes into the heart of the third wave, back up to $70.53, which would be a move of, if it stopped at 35.96, that's a 97% move up to the all of Wave 3. If it comes all the way down to my 382, that's a 119% move to 70.53. All right, and then I was going to do CLSK. I haven't looked at that one in a while. I'm sure Matt looks at it all the time for his followers, his subscribers. But I haven't done anything with CLSK. Yeah, so here's my larger degree Wave 1 and then the Wave 2 bottom. And since then, it's been higher highs and higher lows. And I think it's working on a Wave 1, Wave Sub 1. I'm just going to pull this out a little bit so I get some symmetry of price action around my line. So yeah, from where price is right now, what is this even? Oh, this was if it goes to the 382 on the retraces. Typically, though, I look for a 382 at the minimum. So to the 382 would be $15.30. That'd be 42% higher from where price is right now. If it makes it more bullishly to the 618, that's 92% higher, or even the 764. Which doesn't quite line up with anything here. If anything, the 618 lines up with the 50%. I'm going to call it. I'm going to say this is going to go to the 618. So $20.91 next, because it lines up. It gets close to this 50% retrace fib on the left. That's a pattern I've seen. Then it gets kicked back to the 236, which is almost the 236 on the left side of the retrace as well. So it could even go all the way back to 1089 instead of 1184. And then the Wave 3 will take it to the 618 to the 1236 up here at 35.59, kind of close to the 786. Maybe it gets, and then gets kicked back down to the 764 on the right, 24.38. Here, just take a screenshot when I pull this right to the 2236 here. So that's my whole chart for CleanSpark from now until the Wave 5 top here. And back to you, Matt. So,
yeah. Let's take a look here. What haven't
we're not switching
done?
back and forth too fast, are we? Does it work for you?
No, I think it's good. It's a good back and forth.
Okay,
I think people like going. They like tracker in lightning speed mode.
Yeah, I like to compare our charts for sure.
Yeah,
I love when we get close.
Oh, there's yeah. I got time for maybe a couple more, so I'll do a CRM and Lemonade because I haven't really done those in a while. So yeah, CRM. Let's take a look at that one. I'll switch to my screen. So CRM, I'm watching a couple of things here, and the couple of things that I'm watching is the 100-week moving average. It broke out last week. It kind of back tested it already, so that's 271.74. And then I'm watching this 886 up here to try to get back above, and that's 280.97. But right now the conversion line's kind of getting in the way, 275.27. So it's range bound. But it's a nice recovery from the bottom here, from the 200-week moving average. It's a breakout, got rejected kind of right where it should at the 50-week moving average. Came back down almost, and it exactly did back test the 786 at the 256.73. So now it's working on trying to break more resistance above to get to the 280 zone. So that'll be my next target to break, but it is looking like a better chart. And the goal is to stay above 271.74. If so, this chart can go higher. And also Lemonade here, LMND, it is at a very important resistance zone that it needs to break above. 44.01 is the 50%, and the blue level of my GAN is right there at 43.20. So it's basically, it's a battle right now, right? I'm not saying it's going to get rejected. It did get rejected last week, and it is still battling it right now. So 44.01 is the target to close weekly candles above. And if it can't succeed, maybe this week or next, then it might be time to retrace to go back down to retest lower levels, perhaps into the high 30s once again. So important level to overcome. Let's see if it can do it this week. Let's see if it can do it soon, because if it can flip to support, then it can go much higher, even up to these previous highs in the 50s up here, which has potential. So it's at resistance now, so I am cautious, but it does have potential to break. So cautious at resistance, more bullish at support if that comes. And Tracker, take us out.
All right, I'm just going to show my CRM to compare real quick. Salesforce, I'm calling it wave 1, wave 2 complete. And so it's in the heart of the third wave now. You just want to buy it and hold on to it until it reaches my $432 target up here for the 123.6, maybe even extends to the 127.2 on the left, 446.89. So that would be, I mean, gosh, you could just, don't do this, but you could put all your money in just this one stock and, well, no, that's not. It's only 58%. Never mind. That's boring to me. But 58% higher for all of wave 3 here from where price is now. And then I thought I had a Berkshire B and that something, I charted something interesting, but it looks like I charted it on, I charted on a different chart. I don't have Berkshire B, I'm sorry. We haven't done Microvast in a while. It's on a different template. I can't remember what template my Berkshire Hathaway is on, but it was, I come to the conclusion that I'd peaked or something weird. All right, Microvast got more than my wave 1 top. I need to bring this to the right. Let's just do 764. Ooh, 100% back to the 50%. This one's weird. This probably means when my things don't quite line up, it probably means that this isn't the real 1, 2. This might be the 1, and then where it comes back down to could be the 2. I need one quick thing to get a real look at this. And is this, I think this is it right here. Right there. Yes, I think it's going to come back to $2.44. So MVST is on its way. I know it sounds painful, and it probably will get it fast enough to hit it. See right, this moving average 300 coming up on this 8-hour chart. I think it's going to hit 244 right there, and then all of this will become the wave 1, and then this. Oh gosh, where are you? This will become the new wave 2, and then this is my new projection. It's a projection of a projection because this hasn't happened yet. But that would take us to, let me just redraw this real quick. And I'm sorry, I'm almost done. All right. So now we're in wave 3. It goes 764, 382, 1382, 100, and then 2382. I was hoping it was going to complete this ABC here. But yeah, there you go. Overall, the larger chart wants to do maybe a 382, 236, 618, which is what these numbers are. Yep, 972 to 606. And it looks like it's just, but in the mean, on the steps up there, I think it's going to go 589, 417, 867, just like it says right here. And maybe just, I don't know, maybe that's it. All right, there you go. MVST, it hit resistance and it's going to come back and look at 246 for support. And I'm sorry, that's all the time we have for today. But come back tonight for more Matt and Tracker Chat for the Triumvirate convenes tonight at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yes, that is correct. We'll see you guys tonight and have a great day. Try not to panic in support zones.
Yeah, buy them. Buy the support zones, the ones that we talked about. All right. See you guys later tonight, and have a great trading day. And you too, Matt. I'll see you later tonight.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.